It is the first Airbus A350 of Philippine Airlines that we get from Herpa Wings in scale 500, and that of course means we have to take a closer look. With that, welcome to a new episode of Review, where we, as mentioned, will take a closer look at an Airbus A350-900 of Philippine Airlines. At the front of the box we have the cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside. On top of the box we then have the Philippine Airlines branding and the Love Bus branding, which we also will find on the aircraft model itself. On the back side of the box we then have another cutout, but honestly speaking I'm not a fan, but more on that a little bit later in the video. And here she is, the Airbus A350-900 in the current livery of Philippine Airlines. Now, with no further ado, let us take a closer look at the model itself, and we start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Philippine Airlines branding, which of course is closely referring to the Philippine flag, which we find on the fuselage, where we also have the full registration code of the aircraft. On top of the fuselage we then have this lovely sat dome, and if we look at the very tail of the aircraft we also have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. Then at the front of the aircraft across the fuselage we simply have the writing of Philippines, no other branding here, and then we of course have the Love Bus logo. Now, I'm honestly not entirely sure what that is all about. The only thing I know is that it is not the first time that this logo has been placed on a Philippine Airlines aircraft, but if you know more about this then feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Around the cockpit section we don't have too many details, but we do have the recognizable black mask of the A350 around the cockpit windows. We also have the window wipers printed on, and above the cockpit windows we then also find the emergency hatch for the cockpit printed on. The engine nacelles have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage. They don't have any additional detailing as such, just the standard ones that we are used to from Herpa Wings. Honestly speaking, just a few markings here and there would do wonders to those engines. But if we look into the engines from the front, we can see very nicely the engine fan blades. So while the engine nacelles maybe lack a little bit of markings, we get those plenty at the wings. If we look here at the top side, we see the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely. We have the markings as to where to walk on the wing, and we have the full registration code of the aircraft once again, which we also find on the underside of the wing. The wings also have these wonderfully curved winglets with the Philippine Airlines branding on them. They look absolutely stunning. What I'm also very happy with is the landing gear, and particularly the main landing gear underneath the wings, because that is the latest version of that from Herpa Wings, where the wheels are a little bit bigger, reducing the distance between the wheel sets, which makes the landing gear look much better than what we originally got from Herpa Wings with the A350. The front landing gear is also alright, but of course here I would wish for a few markings that would just make it pop out a little bit nicer. On the belly of the aircraft we then also find the full Philippine Airlines branding once again, slightly impaled however by a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model. And then last but not least, we also have the doors to the cargo compartments. However, I must say that I am a little bit disappointed with the quality of that print. The lines are particularly rough, very unusual for Herpa Wings. So there we have it, the Airbus A350-900 in the current livery of Philippine Airlines. So what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, I mean, me personally, I've never been a huge fan of the Philippine Airlines livery, but I must say it does look quite nice on the A350. Overall, the print quality is decent. The only really thing I didn't like were the lines for the cargo doors. As mentioned, they are particularly rough for some reason. Of course, a few markings here and there, especially on these wide engine nacelles, would have done wonders, but overall I think it is a fairly decent aircraft model from Herpa Wings. Physical details are excellent, especially what is great is that we have the updated main landing gear that just helps out the aircraft so much. So it is a great model from Herpa Wings. It's just sad that I'm kind of more preoccupied with the box design, but there's a good reason for that. Now, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of the cutout on the backside. The main reason for that is simply it makes the box less protective for the model, and it lets through light, which is not great for your models. We know that especially plastic parts can miscolor over time, and one huge factor in them doing that is sunlight. So if you can keep your models in a box where they're not exposed to sunlight, that is definitely the best thing you can do for your model's longevity. But I did a little poll on Instagram, which I will repeat here on the video as well, so you have another chance if you missed the Instagram poll. But I did get quite a lot of feedback, and the main message was because of bad quality control of Herpa Wings, people like that they could see the aircraft model in the box before buying it. But seriously, why wouldn't you just take the model out of the box and check it yourself before buying it? And if you are in a shop where they don't allow you to, then don't buy from that shop. But enough about that topic for now. We will continue that in a later review. Don't forget to click the top right corner for the poll so we get a more detailed image of what the community says about this topic. With that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.